Welcome to the Coastal Kitchen. I'm Karen Mashers, and today we're having an adventure with pork. Pork tenderloin supreme, accompanied by sweet potato surprise, cucumber and onion salad, and topping it off with grilled peaches. These are the ingredients you'll need to make pork tenderloin supreme. Let's get started. I've got a beautiful pork tenderloin, and what we're going to do is we're going to grill that pork tenderloin and sear the outside in a frying pan. So let's get that heat on, and I've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil that I'm going to heat up in my pan. Let's get that all over the bottom. And we're going to take some salt and pepper. Nice and heavy on the salt and pepper. Let's turn it over. This really sears in. Watch out when you put it in your pan, because it's going to start cooking right away. Let's wash my hands. This is a stuffed pork tenderloin, and what I have done is I've used a boxed pork stuffing. I've already made that up, and it's going to go into the center of the tenderloin once we get that ready. I'm adding a little bit of diced onion to the stuffing mix. And that will cook in the oven on the tenderloin. Okay. Just nice and wet. You want a nice wet stuffing. Got that ready. And let's see where this tenderloin is. Want to make sure that we've got all of the sides nice and seared. And as we wait for this to brown, the way I like it is to add a little bit of garlic salt. Everybody does things a little bit different, and I'm just going to put a touch of garlic salt right on my meat in the pan. Oops. Let's turn this over again. Getting nice and golden brown, and what you need to do is make sure that all sides are seared. So I'm turning it up on its side, and we're going to let that sizzle for just a few minutes, and let's get started on our sweet potatoes. Here's what you need to make sweet potato surprise. I have 4 washed sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes have a tendency to weep when they're cooked in the oven. So I have lined my pan with tin foil. We're going to put this in a 400-degree oven right now and start them cooking. Just keep them nice and apart. Okay, so we've got the sweet potatoes going. And I'm going to turn this one more time, wiggle it back and forth a little bit to break it from the pan. And we're going to turn it over one more time here. Be careful, because the grease does pop up at you, and nobody likes to get burned. Okay, it's got about another minute to go. I'm putting my tenderloin on an aluminum baking pan. It's going to go into a 350 oven for about an hour. It just depends on how large the piece of meat is. So let's turn this heat off And I'm going to come put this right on my pan. And this is where it gets a little warm on your fingers. You're going to take a knife and cut straight down the top of the tenderloin. Make a nice cut, just don't cut to the bottom. Spread it open a little bit. See how that meat looks? Doesn't that look pretty already? And now we're going to take the stuffing mix and fill it right into the center of the tenderloin. About halfway through the cooking process, we're going to take a piece of tin foil and cover up the stuffing because we don't want it to burn on the top. Want it to get done, but don't want it to burn. Okay. This smells so good. All right, let me get my fingers washed just a second. And I've got 2 little pieces of kitchen string, and we're going to slide it under the pork tenderloin and just tie it so it doesn't spread while it's cooking. This is a great meal for a family dinner or wonderful for company. All right, 350 degree oven, about an hour. Let's let that cook for just a few minutes. And I'm going to save this stuffing over here because I like to put that in a nice little bowl, warm it up, and serve it on the side. Our sweet potato surprise is something that I love because I love sweet potato casserole at Thanksgiving, and it doesn't seem like we make it enough. It's a fun food that really makes me smile. I have 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. If you prefer, you can use dark brown sugar. I'm going to take my butter and put it in the microwave real fast because it needs to be melted. And that's a half a stick of butter. Won't take but a second. Maple syrup goes in, right in with the brown sugar. And I'm going to put in a half a cup of pecans. And let me get that butter out real fast. Just pour all of that butter down into the top of those pecans into that sugar, and we're going to mix it up real good. That butter makes it nice and thick, and it's more like a paste. Take a look at that. Almost looks like pecan pie. We're going to set this aside because after the sweet potatoes are done, we're going to use this as our topping. So let's put that right over there. I'm going to clean this up for just a minute, and we're going to take a short break as you hear from our sponsors.
ATMC TV and the Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Food Lion, your neighborhood grocery store. Since 1957, Food Lion has been offering the highest quality products at low prices with great service. Swing by your local Food Lion today to find all the ingredients needed to make the meal featured on this week's show.
Welcome back. While you've been gone, I've cleaned up my kitchen area, and we're going to get ready to make our cucumber and onion salad. Before I do that, though, I want to show you how well this pork roast is doing. I think that I'm going to have to put just a touch of tin foil. Ooh, doesn't that look good? Smells wonderful. You guys should be here. I'm going to cover up the top. Just make a little tent. Put it right on the top and put it back in as it finishes so that stuffing doesn't burn. Now, our cucumber and onion salad. This is one of my favorite dishes. My grandmother in England used to fix it for me, and I just can never get enough of it. The following ingredients you'll need to make cucumber onion salad. All you have to do is take an English cucumber, and if you don't like English cucumbers, just get the regular kind. The one thing about the English is they say that it keeps it from repeating on you, so that's one of the reasons I really like it. I want you to cut it paper thin, just as thin as you can make it. And I've got some already cut up in a bowl. We're just going to throw these in with the other ones that I have. And I've got some onions that have been cut in half, separated, and we're going to put all those in too. It's almost, in a way, like a coleslaw. We're going to take in this bowl, and I'm going to put my mayonnaise. I have, actually it's salad dressing, and it's 5 tablespoons of salad dressing. I have lovely, fragrant spices that include celery seed. The majority of it is celery seed, and it really brings out the flavors of the cucumbers. Let's try a little bit of cider vinegar. I've got 2 tablespoons. Just mix it up, and you'll see that I'm putting a little bit of sugar in there. And now some salt and pepper. Salt and pepper to taste. I just put enough to make me happy. So make what you want the way you like it. All right, once you've got this all incorporated, make sure that the sugar has melted in. The vinegar really does that beautifully. And you can see it looks almost like a coleslaw dressing. That goes right on top of the cucumber and onions. This is really a refreshing summer salad. All right. Now, just make sure that everything is coated. And this needs to sit in the refrigerator for about an hour before you serve it to make sure that all of those cucumbers have absorbed some of the slaw type dressing. Now that I've got everything incorporated and the cucumbers are all covered in the sauce, I'm going to just set it aside and put it in the refrigerator in just a few minutes. But remember, about an hour before you serve. Let's get started with our peaches. Let me grab this, put this cucumber on this side. With peaches in season, here's what you need to make grilled peaches. I have halved 2 peaches. We're going to half number 3. And all you need to do is just take a sharp knife, go straight down. I have a little tip and trick for you. If you don't have a grapefruit spoon, try to find one because they're great for coring and pitting. And all you need to do is just go around where the pit is and scoop it right out. It makes that beautiful cut for you. See how pretty that is? Comes out beautifully. Make sure you get all of the pit because you want a lovely hole to put your sugar in, because we're going to put some brown sugar in that. Let's scrape off any bad pieces. Okay, I've got brown sugar and I've got butter. And I'm going to take a piece of paper towel and melt some butter just a touch. Don't want it to be melted, but I want it to be soft. Make sure your butter's soft. Only going to let this sit in here about 10 seconds and it'll be ready to go. Okay. Super simple dessert. Let me grab a little spoon here. What I'm going to do is arrange my peaches. And I'm going to take about a teaspoon of brown sugar. And you know, if you really like cinnamon, you can put cinnamon or nutmeg in with your brown sugar. But just fill about a teaspoon in each one. Makes the sweetness even more pronounced. Now, we're going to take a knife and just a dollop of butter right on top of the brown sugar on each one. Not very much, but just enough to give it a little bit more flavor. And this is all there is to it. It's a super simple dessert. You can serve it with heavy cream. You can serve it with ice cream if you'd like. But this is going to go under the broiler for about 5 minutes. And it'll start to brown off the sugar, the butter melts, and the top of the peaches will turn a golden brown. So I'm going to set this aside because I'm going to get my potatoes out of the oven. My sweet potatoes should be about ready. Let's give it a check. Boy, they smell wonderful too. Sweet potatoes are so good for you. They're one of, they say, the perfect foods. All right, I'm going to close this oven door. I'm going to change my oven from bake to broil. I'm going to put it on 500, and in just a second it'll be ready for my peaches. Let me move this over a little bit. Now, these sweet potatoes are lovely and hot. Let's get a knife here. What I'm going to do is cut down the center of the sweet potato, just like you would regular baked potato. Nice and soft and hot. Let's give it a nice squeeze. Now this is our topping that we made a few minutes ago. And I want you to take about a tablespoon and slide right into that potato. Anybody who likes that sweet potato casserole like I do at Thanksgiving, with the pecans and the brown sugar and the butter, has got to love this. All right, let's finish this up. I've got a little extra. That one looks like it needs just a touch more. And you can see what we made makes 4 potatoes look perfect. Let's quick get our peaches in the oven. It's going to take 5 minutes under the broiler. Make sure you watch them. I'm going to turn my light on so I can see what's happening in the oven. While those are cooking, we're going to take a short break and talk to our sponsors, and we'll be back ready to plate our meal.
ATMC TV and the Coastal Kitchen would like to say thank you to our sponsors at Holden Brothers Farm Market in Shallotte for supplying the fresh produce on this week's show. For over 25 years, the Holden Brothers Farm Market has specialized in the freshest locally grown produce on their 250 acres in Shallotte. Swing by their indoor market located near mile marker 10 on Highway 17 or check them out online at holdenbrothersfarmmarket.com.
I've got the peaches in the oven. They're nearly done, and what we're going to do is top them with some homemade whipped cream. Now I have some whipping cream, and I'm going to put about half a pint in my bowl, and I use a metal bowl because it keeps it cooler. And we want to whip this up really at a high speed because I want it to be nice and fluffy. Once I get it to where it's bubbling, and you can see how it bubbles. This is noisy in a metal bowl, but we're going to get this going. You know, if you keep whipping cream, it'll turn into butter. So, want to get it whipped up nicely. I'm putting 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar in. Sweeten it up just a little bit. And I'm going to stop this for just a second because I'm going to put about half a teaspoon of vanilla extract in here. Now, this is pure vanilla, and I like to use all the pure extracts because they just make it really pop. The flavor comes out so beautifully. All right, we're going to keep whipping. And those peaches are almost done, so about the time I get this finished, we'll be able to take those peaches out of the oven. Can you see how I'm getting the peaks now? Just want to do a few more minutes here. See how that metal bowl keeps it really fast and really cold? And that's what you want in whipped cream. All right, let's take those peaches out. Oh, they're nice and toasty on top. Can you see how the brown sugar has melted? It makes it look like a beautiful sauce inside. You know, I think I better get another spoon here. Let's make this easy on us. All right. One more spoon so we can put a nice dollop of whipping cream right on the top of those hot peaches. That'll start to melt. Like I said, you can serve it with hot cream or heavy cream, okay? So let me put this over here, and we're going to finish up with our pork tenderloin. I have taken it out of the oven, and I've let it rest for a few minutes. As I clean this up just a minute, get this out of the way. You want the juices to redistribute in the meat. And even though it has been cut once, it has seared back again on the center side. So just make sure that when you do cook pork, that it comes up to at least 140 degrees. Okay? So this is at 145 degrees and it's ready to cut. I'm going to slide it right off of this pan onto my cutting board, and you'll notice that I do have the red cutting board. It's for meat. Don't want to mix meat and vegetables on the same cutting board. Let's get this string off. And we are ready to cut. Oh, I can't wait to get my fork in this. I've got my potato, my cucumber and onion salad. And look at that. So tender and pretty. Don't you wish there was smell-o-vision? Any recipe that we have on the show will be on our website. You can go to ATMC and get the recipes. Hope you enjoy them. Don't forget to watch us on Channel 3, your local station. Have a great day. Here at the Coastal Kitchen, we love hearing from our viewers. And today we have some questions and a comment that we'd like to share with you. Mary from Calabash writes, "Dear Karen, I love the first show, especially the orange chocolate truffle cake. But my husband is not a fan of oranges. What other fruits could be used as a substitute?" I have actually not put any flavoring in this cake, and it's been wonderful. Just pure chocolate truffle, wonderful. You can also use raspberry. I've used a raspberry flavoring and then poured raspberry syrup on the side, which is really terrific. You could even get creative and try an amaretto flavoring, maybe even some almonds on top. But it's how you like it. And so be experimental, try things and see which is your favorite. Jennifer from Charlotte writes, "Karen, I want to try the scallops Christoph, but if I can't find them, what can I use instead?" I think that this dish is a wonderful accompaniment to shrimp. You could try chicken bites. You could even try small pieces of steak with maybe an au jus type gravy, because that would sort of run into the grits and make them a little bit more flavorful even. We have a lovely comment from Randy at Sunset Beach. He's tried the fried corn on the cob and loves it. I saw a friend Amy at Food Lion yesterday, and she said that she's making it for her kids this weekend. Terry from Sunset Beach is eating caramelized onions every other day, according to her mother. We love hearing from our viewers, so you can contact us at atmctv.com or write us a message on Facebook. Just search for us under the Coastal Kitchen. Have a great one.
Here's a sneak peek at our upcoming show.
Welcome back to the Coastal Kitchen. I'm Karen Mashures, and today our menu consists of the perfect steak with béarnaise. We've got green beans with garlic, roasted rosemary potatoes, and for dessert, blueberries and ice cream. Let's get started with the potatoes. I'm going to take my potatoes and I'm going to rub them in oil. I'm going to just pour some across the top so it can get it started for me. And what I'm going to do is rub in oil, and I'm going to salt all around and pepper. And I'm going to lay that right on top of my rosemary. This steak goes right into this mixture. I want you to coat all sides. Looks strange to think about doing this to a steak, but this is what really makes the crust form, and it's just like you've gone to one of the finest steak restaurants in the country. All right, these green beans look great. Take a look at that color. The garlic smells absolutely wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and turn this meat off and let it sit in the hot pan for about 5 minutes. Let the meat distribute the juices again, and we're going to make some béarnaise. I've got to take a bite. Okay. Boy, this looks beautiful. Nice and juicy. It is the best crust you'll ever eat on a steak. Oh, this is great. Let's try.
This is ATMC TV Channel 3. We bring you the best of Brunswick.